Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read in front of you. I just did a meditation, a very interesting message today. And just the read was very cool in general, so I would stay tuned if I were you. The message that I just got was they were getting me to, as opposed to looking into my heart for my inner little girl and little boy to get a message, I was guided to go etherically, go up through my crown for this message. So they were basically taking me back to Akashic Records. And it became very orange because it was about the sacral chakra and the wounds that we still have. And the wound that is coming up for clearing literally is the original wound. What it was, I was being shown the Divine Feminine back in Atlantis being implanted with reptilians. And this was not normal back then. This, that you were human angelics. So your masculine basically abandoned you with a karmic and let you be experimented on by implanting you with reptilian seeds that would then unfold into the past, thousands of years of you separated until you can finally come back into union again. And this is like the final, the final straw, right? This is the big wound, the wound where they originally left you. So, other than, the Garden of Eden thing, this was the experimentations in Atlantis. And it was literally the first time we become part reptilian, part angelic human. So that came up. And again, very much about the sacral chakra today, the orange, the sexual energy, which was actually a topic that came up in conversation today. And how to deal with the sexual energy. When you're frustrated. It was actually, I should tell you, the conversation, because it was just seeing the perspective. When you're sexually frustrated, it's not the sex that you're missing, right? Because you can relieve yourself. It's not the sex you're missing, it's the creative outlet, the use of the creative energy in a creative way that you're missing. Because you don't want to go out and find someone because you want sex. You want to go out and find someone who's your true partner, who is your match, who's your best friend, who you love to do things with, who you want to co-create with. So it's not the sex that is inherently the issue. It's the need to be creative and have an outlet to go do something that you really enjoy doing and having fun with. Because of course you want to be with the person that you love, but you shouldn't be blaming them for the reason why you are not satisfied, right? You're sexually frustrated because you don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend? No. You're frustrated because there's something missing. It's not something outside of yourself. It's something inside of yourself, the creativity that you want to express that's not being expressed. So this was very important. So besides that, I wanted to tell you yesterday, on the video yesterday, I was watching back the beginning of it a bit, and it was very cool, and you can look back at the video from yesterday if you'd like to. At 8:22 on the clock on the video, the flame started rising out of the holder. You couldn't see the flame, then all of a sudden it starts rising at 8:22. And then it starts flickering like crazy, and then at 8:44 it went out completely. And at 8:22, when the flame started rising, I literally said, sovereign and free. So that's like the fool taking that leap of faith, being free. And then at 8:44, when the light went out, I literally said, gold coin, which is also the Christ or unity consciousness. So this is very important. 22 is the fool, sovereign and free. And then 44 is the mastering, grounding, and integrating of the unity consciousness. So you might want to check that out. The flame went crazy there for a while until 8:44 when it completely went out. Just like the lights going out yesterday on my birthday. They're giving us very literal messages now. So the masculine read today was done at 9:19 to 9:20, which is the Hermit, the Sun, and the Judgment card. So exposing all, the Hermit, going within, finding the wisdom, and then coming out and exposing everything they've learned, and the Judgment, which has to do with making judgment calls, decisions. And we always are judgmental because if you have to make any kind of decision in your life, that's a judgment. So not to judge yourself about making judgments. It's about you can make judgments or decisions for yourself, but the judgment they're talking about when they say don't be judgmental has to do with you judging for or making a decision for someone else, right? So you're breaking past their boundaries to choose what they should do or what's best for them. So we have the sun exposing all, and the judgment of making a decision, hearing the call to action, and the masculine major arcana here were the Starseed, which is the Fool, Karma, which is the Judgment card, Ascension, which is the World, and then after the read, the Guidance and the Hermit both came up. Guidance is like the Hierophant, and then Hermit's actually called Reflection in this deck, in the SIRIAN Starseed deck. We have 3 Pentacles, 2 Swords, and 3 Wands. So there were no cups in this read at all, but this was important for this read today. There was the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, and then the King of Swords, the Shaman. Okay, so that's also very important today. 2 pages and a king, the Page of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the King of Wands, who in this deck is the Shaman, and the Page of Wands is the masked boy with the inner flame. So, that's like the inner boy of the Shaman. And then the Page of Pentacles, the one with the gold coin, the one with the unity consciousness, right? So the message here today and the numbers were all about communications. And communications in the numerology deck is number 33, which is the Christ vibration, and it's gold. So it's all about the gold coin and communications, and our etheric communications as well. So regarding communications, the numbers today were very literal. We had double ones, double twos, double fives, and double nines. The only other number was the number 3, which is the Trinity and that Christ vibration, right? So 11, which is justice, 22 is the Fool, 55 is the Ace of Swords, the truth, and 99, the ending, the compassion, the universal selflessness. The minute before the hour, right? Because 99 is the digit before the 100. The sense, the century, right? The final hour, in any regard that you're thinking of it in. And so the code line about communications, the number on that code line was 51, which is also 51, which is the King of Swords, the Hierophant and the Magician, which equals 6, which is the Lovers. So the code line today was all about lovers, and the 6th ray, Jesus' 6th ray, and communications, the Christ consciousness of the 33. So we have here the message. And it was very much about the starseed today, which the Fool was reversed. But when you think of starseed, what are you thinking of? It's the star and the seed, right? The stars in the sky and the seed that you plant in order to shine that light. So the message around communications was coming up about the temperature, or a temporary show of power, that alternating current, the air conditioning, so the air signs, and conditioning of the air sign to be more loving or to open up their heart, and the TV, or the telepathy of the 5, the freedom, the change, the Hierophant, or the expansion, or in other words, the rise, right? When the smoke or the fire rises, just like I told you the flame rose yesterday, just like Jesus rose from the dead. The Hierophant of Christ, showing the power of acing the Fool's journey, which was perfect, right? Because it's all about the Fool here, and the Fool's journey is the Tarot, right? So it's Spirit's way of, pulling our Tara that we deal with every day into the message they're bringing us here. The temporary show of power in alternating current, or in other words, hot and cold, either the temporary show of power or the temperature rising in a show of power, hot and cold with telepathy, expands the unity consciousness. It's Christ's show of power of the one, the unity consciousness, and the Fool's journey, or the Fool ascending, or in other words, the starseed. The starseed is planting a star, a rising star. Okay? And then I was getting fini, because the first three letters on the code line are F space NI, and NI is nigh, like show of power from Monty Python, and F for me is that rise of temperature of the boiling point of the masculine and feminine. But I was getting the space between here, and I was getting fini, the final act, because act is right after fini. But this is the final act of creative expansion of Christ, showing power of the one starseed. He's saying, look what the power of one starseed can do as I, Jesus. Look at what I did as just one starseed, the same as you. This is the final act of co-creation, of telepathy, of co-creation TV, through the eclipses and Valentine's Day, the March solstice, and then leap year day, the 29th, and then Easter of Christ rising. But this year, without death, only love, skipping the hanging man timeline. After hanging in limbo, the fool takes a leap of faith with Mary Magdalene. So he gets off the cross, right, to take a leap of faith, gets down to take her hand and walk away with her instead of going through with being a martyr and being hung. After hanging in limbo, the fool takes a leap of faith and a leap with the gold coin, the unity consciousness, to take off instead of being the human with the ego and getting to be the sacrificial lamb. He then would choose differently next time and love himself first and choose to get down off the cross and take Mary Magdalene's hand. This is the final act, and Spirit's connecting with me very strongly right now. The final act, the last quarter of the race, right? The third baton leads into the last quarter of the race, which we talk about fours all the time. This is the fourth quarter. The other numbers, by the way, were 323, which is the 32 and the 23 reflected, of the journeyman and the King of Wands, shaman. The 11 of the justice, the 22 of the fool, the 55 of the truth, and the 99, which I told you already. The 1, 2, 3 jump, that to take that leap of faith, the 35 of the 9 of Wands, the wounded warrior, and the Mary Magdalene. The 59, the minute before the hour, the last hour, the final hour. And the 5, separately, of the Hierophant, and the 9 of the Hermit. The 12 of the Hanging Man, the 25 of the Knight of Wands, the 59 again of the minute before the hour, and then again the 23 of the King of Wands, shaman. At 9:44, I turn the page to start the read. We have the 5 of Pentacles here in the SIRIAN Starseed deck, okay? And by the way, we have the mini Rider-Waite, we have the Romance Angels, we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic, we have the Numerology deck, we have the Universal Golden Tarot, as well as the Gilded Tarot. Okay, so there's a lot of energy here. We started out with the 5 of Pentacles. We have the 5 of Wands here, the 9 of Cups here, the Ace of Pentacles here, and then the 2 of Cups there, under the 5 of Crystals. So and I want to preface this by the central energy today in the challenge. All right, so at 9:44 is the Hermit, and then the wise one that goes within, and then the 44 of the Master is the 4 of Cups, the mastering, grounding, and integrating of love. How do we master that third energy of love? So the central energy today is the Ace of Wands reversed. So why was it reversed? With the masculine, no passion at work after a judgment or announcement is out, or the inability to conceive or be aroused, right? Or the inability to conceive of such a thing, of this third energy and the fifth dimension. The challenge here for the masculine is the lack of faith in himself, or in other words, the starseed. The lack of faith in self means no seed. So the issue is that the masculine needs to plant a seed. Okay, and that has to do with physical union. So the 5 of Pentacles upright is the underlying energy here. Destitute, abandoned, homeless, exile from the group, on a quest from dissatisfaction of holding back the gold coin, the third energy, the Christ consciousness. And then I was getting with the gold coin is another way of spelling Kohan. So I was getting gold is the Christ and the coin is the Kohan, the Christ Kohan. So the sixth ray was coming up, says Jesus was the sixth ray. And I was looking up the Christ ray to see what other information was coming up from that. And the headers I got were Chris Ray. And underneath that heading said, Ray traded to the San Francisco Giants, the Giants, along with Michael Maine. And he was a pitching prospect, all right? So Michael, like Archangel Michael, the Maine Michael, was the pitching prospect for Benji Molina. And that was June 30th, 2010. June, the 6th of the Lovers, the 30 of the Union, the Four of Wands, and then the 2010. 20 is the judgment, the decision, the final call to action of your destiny. The 10, the call to action of your fate. The Lovers, the Four of Wands, Judgment Day, destined. And the day adds up to 39, the Knight of Cups. On December 2nd, 2010, which adds up to 17, the Star, the Giant's non-tendered Ray, waking him or making him a free agent. Okay, so now the masculine becoming free. As Jesus, the sixth ray, freeing him from work, right? Because 6 has to do with love, family, and community, and your practical day-to-day life. Ray now waking him and making him a free agent. Ray signed a minor league contract with the Seattle Mariners, right, on the water, dealing with emotions, to deal with his emotions January 25th, 2011. But you notice 11 is a 2, so it's paralleling with 2020, clear vision. On a higher level with the 11, of course, but that date also added to 30, which is the Union again, the Four of Wands. The next heading was Jesus in Red, 365 meditations on the words of Jesus. And it's by Ray Comfort, the comfort of the rays, the sixth ray today. And there was a number there associated with this item. It was 9781424558841. So I first noticed it right away because the 97 is on my license plate. And the reflection of 79 is what I call the pot of gold, 79 at the end of the rainbow. Then 81 is the final cycle, the final age on the Pythagorean theorem as far as numerology. The squares of the two sides of the triangle equal to the square of the hypotenuse. And when you get to the end of the squares, because each square is worth 9 years of your life, you end up back at age 81, back to 0 again. So then basically that's the end of your contract, and then you can decide what you want to do. So 97 came up, then 81, then 42 of the Two of Cups, then the 4 of the Emperor, and the 55 of the Ace of Swords, the Excalibur, then the 8 and the 8, the two twins, within their balanced within their own masculine and feminine, and doing the dance side by side, which combined equals the infinity. And then the 41, which is the Ace of Cups, love, self-love, spiritual love, and new love. The next one header that came up was Ray Christ, from Kripalu, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, .org. It's Kripalu, if any of you are interested in. Ray Christ is the founder of the Jaguar Path. He traveled through Mexico and Peru in search of the indigenous healers and apprenticed with 3 shamans from lineages as old as the Inca civilization and the Amazon jungle shamans. And Ray has a background in Chinese medicine, Thai yoga, and martial arts. And then Kripalu Yoga teacher, which is the Kripalu org is actually in Massachusetts, and then Ray Christ has his separate website, but it's very interesting. So you might want to check out both of those websites. Another header that came up was Michael Ray, and it just said real men love Jesus. It was a music video, YouTube. Then another heading came up, Christopher Wray, W-R-A-Y, the 8th FBI director since, I guess he's been in office there since 2017. Or I don't know if it was the 8th director since 2017, but either way, he came up as an FBI director. Very interesting. The next heading came up, Ray Downing, a 3D illustrator and animator. And there's a lot of portraits of Jesus. There's a Jesus portrait collection by him. And then Ray Stedman, who's no longer with us, from October 5th, 17 to October 7th, 92. He was an evangelical Christ pastor and author in Palo Alto. Alto, California. And actually, it was really funny because he was going to be a surgeon before he decided to do what he did. And I worked with a doctor. He was going to be a priest before he became the doctor. And he always used to joke that I decided instead of serving God, that I would be God. And it's funny because this one did it the reverse way. Instead of being the surgeon, he decided to be the pastor. So he was a pastor in Palo Alto from 1950, and again we have the 50 of the emotional fulfillment of the 10 of Cups. And the fall, it's like the fall of 1950, right? The fall, in the fall is the fall. So he fell into his pastor role, into his fellowship, and he did it for 40 years. And there's that Page of Cups, the Jesus love, the 40 days and 40 nights, until April 30th, 1990, which again we have the 4 of the Emperor, the 30 of the 4 of Wands again, and then the 1990 of the Sun, and the 90, which is Source backing up, the Hermit, the endings, compassion, universal selflessness. And then that was the time that he retired as a pastor and an elder of that church. And he was also an author, okay? So if you want to look him up, you can. So Chohan, CHOHAM, which has many different spellings, and the first site was summitlighthouse.org, was Sanskrit for Lord, which equals law or equals action of the law of the ray, of the 7 rays they were talking about. The master of the ray defines the law of that ray, and then through Christ or God, it flows to man on that particular path, depending on which ray it is. So then from the Ascended Masters, spiritualretreats.org, the Temple of Comfort came up, which was interesting because we just quoted from Ray Comfort. So the Temple of Comfort comes up here, and as far as rays, and the retreat of Maha Chohan, or in other words, the Holy Spirit. And retreat has to do with the etheric retreat in Sri Lanka, which was Ceylon. So here the Maha Chohan is considered the etheric Holy Spirit over Sri Lanka. The Mother Father, the Alpha and Omega, and then Sananda comes up as the Cosmic Christ, or the 6th ray, brotherhood, devotion, peace, and patriotism. But according to Elizabeth Prophet, he was in December 31st, 1959, again this 59 is coming up, right, the minute before the hour, that Nada took over for Sananda. So that now Sananda is a world teacher, reforming today's religions and creating a universal church, the Great White or Light Brotherhood, and that's from enm.wikipedia.org. And then also spiritlibrary.com came up around Jesus and his different personas, okay? So Jesus and Kuthumi, from others was said in 1956 became world teachers, succeeding Maitreya, who took office of planetary Buddha and cosmic Christ. Others believe Jesus is still the Chohan of the 6th ray, and Maitreya, world teacher, according to Elizabeth Prophet, that Jesus incarnated twice as Emperor of Atlantis in 33050 BC and 15,000 BC to aid the white magicians in the war with the black magicians. According to Alice A. Bailey, Master Jesus was also Joshua, the Hebrew military leader in the 13th century BC, and Joshua the high priest in the 6th century BC. Others say that he was Joseph, the coat of many colors, in the 17th century BC and around 17th, 16th century. It was about 1650 to 1550 BC. And then King David in 1037 to 970 BC. And Elisha in the 9th century BC. And then also the 3 magicians who visited the baby Jesus were Casper, Balthazar, and Melchior, right? They were said to be, and this first one I'm not familiar with, so I'm not going to say his name right, Dwell, Kulg, the DJWELKHULG. I think that was G, or maybe it's just an O and I put a mark there by accident. But that was Casper, and Balthazar was Cthulhu, and Melchior was Moria. So going back to the reed, the gold coin and the gold Kohan, which is gold Kohan is like saying Christ Jesus, or the two cups, the two of cups in exile, right? The human and their higher self. With clarity as to why. Why is the two of cups in exile? Defenseless to energies of the Ten of Pentacles reversed. Dysfunctional family as far as values on money and loss of family, money, or a business or inheritance. Not expressing feelings because their family, they don't do that. So again, comes up this topic of misaligned values as far as sexual frustration, how to spend money or need for money, and also the need for truth is regarding the divine feminine. So it's like the the three wise men, the groups of the masculine, the groups of the feminine, and the groups of the karmics around them. The masculine is the sexual frustration. The karmic group has to do with misaligned monetary values, and then the feminine misaligned with needing to know the truth when she already knows the truth, and the frustration around that. What are people frustrated by, which is a block to getting what you want? Because anything that's not love, like frustration, blocks the flow of energy. So the hermit, with the hermit, the worst is over. Dead and buried, no longer bleeding out. As the Knight of Pentacles returns, and the Knight of Pentacles is reversed, he is stuck, still, or at a standstill in process. Holding back the gold coin, he wants to actually give to the hermit, while suffering in silence as he gets himself down off the cross that he built. The inner war of his truth. Depressed bird falls out of the nest, like when the little baby bird needs to try to fly. Maybe he'll fail the first time, unable to fly. At present, rushing in with their truth to one in exile of the group. And so coming down off the cross that he built was exactly at 10:55, which is the destiny of the Wheel of Fortune, and the 55, Excalibur, the Ace of Swords, the truth. So no longer taking the rap for others, getting off of this cross. And I want to show you the cards because this literally was, and wasn't this part of the read quite yet, but I want to show you this because it was these two cards were sitting exactly like this. It is literally Jesus getting all down off the cross and walking away, allowing the others to fall. Okay? Not doing it for them, allowing them to do their own journey, which was so cool that they came up that way. All right. So no longer taking that rap for others, allowing them to fall on their own. No self-sacrifice. If they choose to, let them hang themselves or fall. You didn't do it. They decide for themselves. Let them eat cake if they so choose to. Synchronicities are out to be seen, emphasizing the unknown. That which radiates is swollen, red, irritated, an indication that bacteria has gotten into the clam or oyster. Right? So in other words, indicating the mouth clammed up. So the clam is the masculine, not opening his mouth, right? And then the oyster is O of the human embodiment of source, the Y of the masculine stuck at the Y in the road, and then this STER, the stir. Okay? So his mouth clammed up, or the human stuck at the Y in the road, stirring things up to make the pearl grow. The snake checking it out, but is unable to get in, the seal of divine feminine, and some may be swollen from eating too much or sweets yesterday. The ship set sail with a storm brewing. The steering committee lost their crown, and Jack in the Box, Jesus, got down off the ivory tower to walk hand in hand with Mary Magdalene on the sacrifice. I don't think I meant to write on there, but you see what I mean. So off the ivory tower to walk hand in hand with Mary Magdalene on the ground. Okay, I just skipped a line by accident. To walk on the ground as opposed to hanging up on the cross. No longer humble servant of the crucifixion, heartbreak and sacrifice, after 3 wise men broke his heart. The judge reversed, the emperor reversed, and the hierophant reversed, all in cahoots. And then I was getting, it's raining men, hallelujah. All right, so it's raining men, hallelujah, hallelujah came up. Raining men, amen. So from the Weather Girls. The lyrics here about 10:30, so about 10:30, but also 10:30, and the tarot might be the devil, right? Because 10 plus 5 is 15. About 10:30, every specimen, tall, blonde, dark and lean, rough and tough, strong and mean, Mother Nature taught every angel and rearranged the sky so that each and every woman could find her perfect guy. Stormy weather is about to begin. Hear the thunder. Or in other words, Metatron, who is in charge of the masculines. Don't you lose your head, divine feminines. Rip off the roof and stay in bed. The weak foundation has crumbled, but the propeller on the boat still works. And that was at 11:17 to 18. I got a major connect there. Justice and the star and the moon. Mohammed comes down off the mountain into the sea, taking a bath before hitting the land or street. The harsh truth was trying to stay hidden by 2 bulls split, never ridden, feeling screwed, left out, the masculine butt checked out, or the masculine bull checked out. Either one works. The lilies at work or on the wall, a reminder of sacred heartbreak, and strumming her heart with his fingers, while with drinker, potion maker with attitude, or Sagittarius, whose potion is the white kiss of death, mixing his drink with a little something special to keep him hooked in, while another is out in the cold, or him with a redhead in peach, or an Atlanta peach on white and blue spa tiles by lilies of the field, or a grown child like this, or many different partners, the dominatrix in the MASH unit, the bull on safari, the harp with a servant, and the teen with an attitude who pours your poison for you, or someone who just fantasizes a lot or watches porn. Healing comes up as number 66 is the Queen of Pentacles, and below that was health of the 71, which is that 3 of Pentacles, the Trinity, the co-creation. Right? So that's your health, is that frustration, getting it out by finding what you love to do creatively, whether it's sports or some other kind of physical activity, but finding what you love to put your energy into. Foolish behavior at night or eclipse, where the King of Swords reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed, with Leo or Aries, the Queen of Wands reversed, who is sneaking out at night to go between these 2 men, or Aries reversed, Queen of Wands reversed, she is an Aries, going between 2 men, while Leo Cancer runs away at night, or she's like the wind. The King of Swords reversed is looking at the King of Pentacles reversed, but the King of Pentacles is looking away like he's innocent. Foolish behavior on both their parts, maybe cheated together with one woman last night or at the full moon, or just issues with 1 to 3 females. The Queen of Wands reversed, Leo running away, and another sneaking out at night, unable to find peace. Or the Queen of Wands reversed, Aries, with Leo and or Cancer on her mind. Leo with a toothache or broke their chain leash, gum stuck in their hair that now needs to be cut off now, and what is she ever going to do without her mane? The frog stuck in the weeds or grass, high on fern, capsized boat, or the Queen of Wands reversed, no longer floats his boat, turned over but still floating. The frog is still a frog, it never turned into a prince, and the beast ran away with the chain gang. Lion's Gate, not open to all, you must do the work or you don't graduate in the fall. Kermit feeds Miss Piggy to the lion's den. Lucky for her, the lion had a sore tooth and gums. At 11:48, which is Justice and the 8 of Cups, walking away in justice. And that can be a divorce or a settlement as well. So Justice and the 8 of Cups, walking away and within the justice of that, the truth and balance of that. The Queen of Wands reverse, exiled from the group. as the Knight of Swords upright and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, as well as possibly a third Sagittarius reversed, giving her attitude or kiss of death, stare, out drinking, getting high, or potion brewing, hangover concoction, healing the Queen of Pentacles after a night out with multiple men, or a gangbang perhaps, or sex party, or everyone making out in separate corners, or a porn star perhaps, going back to an old life, or maybe that is actually someone's dream to be a porn star. Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius represented here as far as women, all the fire signs, with Cancer, Aquarius, Virgo, or Scorpio in their charts also. Perhaps friends or kids taking out the Queen of Pentacles, drinking to heal from breakups and just get her over it. Or someone yelled at and told to never come back. In the recent past, at 11:59, again, we have Justice and 59 a lot here. And 59 is that Five of Swords, the war within, the minute before the hour, the final hour. At 11, and 11 is the final hour, right before midnight. 11:59 is literally the minute before the hour of midnight. So that's where we start the recent past here with the Nine of Swords, suffering in silence. And this is Cinderella, right, with the minute before the hour. Or Ben Franklin, right, and striking lightning with the clock tower. The Page of Cups reversed. The Nine of Swords is suffering in silence energy in the recent past. With the Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Wands upright, could be children of the Queen of Wands reversed in exile, or rejected and suffering has inspired them to move with the Queen of Wands depressed, or Aquarius surrendering, the Dark Knight, King of Swords reversed, in ego death, or inspired to move away from or end a marriage or burden, vulnerable and defenseless to energies or attack, the Queen of Wands depressed about death or an ending with a Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius, or Dark Knight and two kids. So these two pages in the recent past, they can be two kids who are suffering in silence. One is the Page of Cups reversed. The other one's the Page of Wands upright. The Page of Wands upright is inspired. The Page of Cups reversed feels rejected, or could just feel very vulnerable or shy, or could be spoiled, just wanting to get attention. It's not really they've been neglected, or they really are, and they're just suffering in silence. It's coming up more like that, that they are suffering because they're not getting the attention that they need. The Queen of Pentacles reversed, moving or traveling to or with the King of Swords reversed, to surrender all responsibilities and confess, unable to defend themselves, or there's no excuse for their behavior. Possibly dating multiple people in front of the kids, right? If you're living in two separate houses, two separate lives, and one parent finds out the other one's been dating multiple men and actually introducing them all to the children, which is tough for the kids because they don't need to know all of your boyfriends if you're not sticking with one, right? So that could be coming up for someone. Out of control Leo or egotistical female. This could be, and the Viking Princess or Queen of Pentacles reverse comes up here as well, but there's definitely fire energy here. Could be gossiping with the King of Swords reversed, Aquarius reversed, about a Cancer, Scorpio, or Dark Knight and the King and the Queen of Wands. Or 1 to 2 kids are with the Queen of Wands, and 1 kid is with the King of Swords reversed. Fire signs are all very negative or reversed today. The Queen of Pentacles reversed in a bold move or travel to or with the King of Swords reversed, who may have hit in a car. They may have hit an animal or an actual person, and this may be at present or in the distant past. But it was coming up as someone hitting an animal, person, or just property. Someone might have thrown something at property. A very dark night, and they can't forgive themselves. So whether this was now or in the past, it can be either. But this is the energy of these, at least the King of Swords reversed, if not them and their partner, surrendering without excuse here in a confession. The foundation is the karma, judgment, announcement, the call to action, the workplace, injustice of the Empress reversed, an unhappy family, or ending of a family or emotional cycle, or announcing a decision at work to the people at work. Justice reversed or Libra reversed, and the Empress reversed are splitting up or ending an unhappy family, or unhappy to end this emotional cycle at 12:21. Someone is leaving the group, and the central energy here is that Ace of Wands reversed. Frustrations, the inability to get aroused or conceive, this decision, perhaps, inability for them to, believe that they're actually going to make this decision at this workplace, whether it's a big change or leaving, whatever it is. At 12:23, we turn the page to the Hangman and the King of Wands, unable to control their desires, the third energy, possible debt, scam, or inequitable relationship, just unhappy, dissatisfied, arrogant, or tired of being alone. The Knight of Pentacles sovereign, moving, ending a marriage, or leaving just to be single and independent. The Page of Swords is reversed, and the King of Swords is reversed side by side, possibly not happy living together. A Leo child with a mouth on them, and a pissed off father trying to keep their negative words to themselves, or ignore negative messages about ego death and dark night, or their overinflated ego. Cancer upright, Aquarius upright and reversed, Scorpio upright, Leo reversed, Sagittarius reversed, Libra reversed, Taurus reversed, and Virgo upright, Capricorn reversed, Pisces upright, and Gemini reversed. All signs right here, all represented. The challenge being, like I told you before, the Starseed reversed. Foolish behavior, falling on face from grace and lacking faith in self. Detoxing chaos, addictions, and codependencies. And remember, January 1st is that time where we all decide to make those promises to ourselves, right? And also to clear lack mentality. Capricorn reversed and Taurus reversed, falling short or withholding sex from each other, or players out on the prowl, while the sovereign is impatient to move out, feeling imprisoned by them. The Devil reversed and Empress reversed, and the King of Wands reversed with the King of Pentacles reversed. Two different sets of twos, exposed by the Hermit or Virgo, their insecurities and manipulations, causing suffering of others. Sagittarius sovereign is moving out, impatient as prisoner, or fallen angel with a prisoner or hostage. And the Six of Cups reversed, unhappy memories or kids or the past returns, not sharing, with alcoholics, depression, in debt, scammed or just inequitable relationship, and or distributions. So not sharing anymore of the stuff. Feeling a prisoner and moving out. Present to romance with flame that's not burning out and not burning the past. Frustrated in chaos and detox, or Capricorn without new life is falling short. And now, or falling short at the new moon, or in deception. The King of Cups reversed is sad about the Queen of Swords upright speaking her truth about a negative past and coming together with lover or any type of affection. Now, for the masculine here is crowning the Three of Pentacles, the Trinity, the workplace or place of co-creation, success, good news, attention with rising above or coming out about a high priestess, Viking princess, a secret or psychic abilities, and the negative past or the past returning involving a twin, his inner child, or kids at the workplace perhaps. Conflict, fight, expansion, competition, games, or quest to get sleep, meditate in the awakening into sovereignty from the Queen of Wands reversed. With emotional fulfillment, so tired of fighting with the princess, or Pisces and Capricorn, or sovereignty and intuitive abilities. Hard to work and awaken at this or simultaneously. The Queen of Pentacles reversed with buried head in her work, or that's the divine masculine, in order to avoid the Queen of Pentacles or Queen of Wands reversed. Detoxing difficult emotions from Ten of Pentacles family reversed, along with the Four of Wands reversed, which is the extended family on top of the home family, or just moving or ending a relationship, dealing with family at the same time, dysfunctional or loss or losing money. At 12:52 is the Hangman and the Queen of Swords, the woman in mourning. Losing family, marriage, and or big financial loss, or distorted values about money, time, and energy, and family, and now independence from home and that dysfunctional family. The Emperor reversed, presently walking away from the cross, to let the chips fall where they may, seeking peace and connection, to offer love and to be love without promises, putting it out there, putting their butt on the line, with truth presented about player or being a player, falling short, holding back passions, unhappy, drained, no sunshine when she's gone. Putting it out there for an opportunity to learn or extend an invitation. Good news, success. Learning to ride again or study the gold coin. Instead of conditions of a new life, unconditional love. Unity consciousness. The indigo reversed, working on their wounds. Soon coming up for the masculine is the ascension, the world complete. Suffering, stress, and purging to start over in love on a quest, just like the explorers, to clear wounds about abandonment, rejection, destitution, homelessness, and hunger, divorce, spirituality, refusal to commit, which is just another condition of love. Contracts and commitments are boundaries in order to be clear about what's good for us as individuals, as humans, not to be used to trap another, to scam them, or to hide or manipulate words so the words can't be understood within. To marry or to not marry, that is the question, is still a condition if used to determine whether or not you're willing to love someone. If they don't want to commit to you, perhaps they still have lessons to learn. Why would you want someone who wasn't fully in and on board in their knowing of choosing you above all others? The Page of Pentacles and the Page of Wands, the students of inspiration, the lovers, the twins, and the kids, coming together to be their inner children together. He being the Page of Wands with the mask still on, coming together to juggle, perform, sharing that high vibration, and leaving that low vibe to strategizing behind, and instead implementing a plan to be moderate and save, holding on loosely without frustration, with room for the need for inspiration and growth, and to remove the mask, and perhaps helping others move out. So around him, or how he is seen, is the Page of Pentacles, soulmate offering love to find peace. But here's really where perhaps helping others move out. So while the soulmate is offering love to find peace, and perhaps helping others move out, but holding back a new life from the Queen of Cups reversed, higher self, who's complete with peace, with a peaceful place, marching to the beat of her own drum, the destined sealed divine feminine, partner of the little drummer boy. Soulmates with the gold coin at 122 is the Magician and the Fool, magnetized above their heads, that gold coin. The Knight of Cups reflecting his higher self, or in other words, the Queen of Cups was reversed above the Knight of Cups because that's his higher self reflected on him. The Queen of Cups both guided to a peaceful place where they complete each other. She gives him peace, he gives her the world. Their destiny come full circle from beginning of time as we know it. The masculine is to clear blocks about the Two of Swords reversed, where all information is in and the worst is over, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, stealing from you, cheating on you, or lying to you. It is now time for bliss. Communication came up, like I said before, but even more so for the masculine today, is about leadership and compassion. Drained by injustice, the Sun reversed and the Justice card reversed, or Leo reversed and Libra reversed. There ain't no sunshine when she's gone. The fairy with wings, Excalibur, and 2 spoons of sugar makes the medicine go down. The medicine go down, the medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down in the most delightful way. The King of Wands reversed, Shaman, the Indigo Magician with insecurities and need for tools on how to remove the mask and open his portal or mouth. The King of Cups reversed and the Queen of Swords reversed are grieving deception and putting it out there. So the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, their inner children, can come together as lovers despite injustice or no energy. The King of Wands reversed is tired and sad in divorce or breaking contract, or Taurus reversed. Outside the box, the Magician reversed, the Queen of Swords reversed, the King of Cups reversed, and the Emperor reversed. And the King of Cups and the Emperor are probably the same person. But the lovers, all of them surrender. The King of Pentacles reversed and the Hermit upright, and the Taurus reversed, King of Wands reversed, or these are 3 to 4 different people involved with the Queen of Wands, the King of Wands reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed, the Taurus reversed and the Virgo upright. Dumped or overwhelmed, drained or drained of fluids, or the Taurus King of Pentacles reversed is going to the doctor because they're vomiting or peeing too much. Moving, traveling, or possibly an ambulance to the hospital. The messenger of truth, Knight of Swords, comes in with the truth, or x-rays in the ER. Choosing a new path, or Atlas, being responsible with the weight of the world upon their shoulders, but also being present to nothingness, or in other words, the divine feminine. The Hermit, Doctor, Professional, or Virgo, or just wise old man, overwhelmed by a new path at present. The Knight of Swords, Messenger of Truth, carries a big responsibility to be present in every and each moment, but the Chariot between them will always carry them home. 142, the Magician and the Two of Cups. After the conflict and dissatisfaction, unexposed couple in exile, suffering, final judgment, announcement, and call to action in order to handle the third energy or hold it back for co-creation. Challenged by lacking faith in themselves. The Page of Wands, complete, reaching out to the world, or the Divine Feminine reaching out to him, her world. The Page of Pentacles, discovering their abilities, clear in her knowing that the King of Wands shaman is exhausted and feeling insecure in his indigo. Divorce, breaking contract, or Taurus reversed, and the King of Pentacles reversed with loss of money and or status to be the Hermit and go within with the light. And that's at 149, the Magician and the Nine of Cups, the Get Your Wish card. Being satisfied with yourself, that's the wish. Because when you're satisfied with yourself, when no one else is around, then you know you can survive anything. Because if you can find happiness with yourself, how much you can really truly enjoy and have gratitude for the people when they do come into your life, but also knowing there's no fear to be alone because you already mastered that. At 149, the Magician and the Nine of Cups, which also can be the Wizard coming out from behind the curtain, in exile from the group, the crowd, in a cold place, the Hermit there without their light. Final judgment or decision to hold back the third energy at work, and challenged by lacking faith or falling from grace, if not inspired, or inspiring, right? The pressure at work to be inspiring. Frustrated without the group, or the group is suffering without him, or after a divorce is containing their sexual energy for Trinity, and challenged by no epiphanies or drama, because they're used to that. The Page of Wands with the mask and the inner flame, praying to a deity to know the secret, which in other words can be a religion, like they're looking outside themselves, while the Page of Pentacles does it on her own. He with the mask depends on the world outside of himself. She depends on herself for clarity from within. Suffering in silence, frustrated and unable to conceive, lacking faith, completes the cycle with new information and clarity. At the workplace, Trinity of the Indigo Magician reversed, and the King of Wands Shaman reversed, which is his inner child and his grown man. The Indigo Magician reversed, and the King of Wands Shaman reversed. At work with crystals, but haven't quite found the right one yet, needing the Father's or the King of Pentacles reverse guidance, or would normally depend on their guidance and is now being the Hermit and going within himself to find the light, the information, and the knowledge that he needs. All right, so that's the end of the read. Coming up with the masculine, finally realizing he doesn't need to look outside of himself for answers, that he has everything. It's always been right here, right? That Dorothy always had the answer right here, right? In her heart, in her home. So I am going to pull you some oracle cards. Let's see what we have here. And then I'll show you the cards as well. So we're going to pull from the animal deck first. This one's called the Animal Tarot cards. Okay, so let's see what we have today. I'm just getting used to these cards. They're pretty new. So for everyone out there, take a deep breath. For everyone watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And let's clear all negative energies. All negative energies here across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities. For the highest good of all those concerned, and filling that empty space with only beautiful, divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. All right, so let's see what we have. So we just want some final guidance here for this read. What was the point of our read today? What does everyone need to know who's watching? Oh, that came right out. All right, so these two came out, and then another one wants to come out as well. And then the bottom of the deck is Ego, 15, the devil, okay? The Siamese cat. It says, you may feel you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking, okay? So the negative thinking has to do mostly with the feminine, the masculine with the sexual frustration, okay, because that came up during the read as well. And okay, so we have ego and the devil, codependencies, addictions, all that kind of stuff is the underlying energy. It's this final thing to come to clear all those wounds. And so we had to bring up that initial wound in the vision that I got before this read about when the divine masculine first left the feminine for another woman, all right, and having to do with the lizard energy now coming in, and the feminine having a wound about being implanted with a lizard's seed, okay? All right, so these are the two cards that first came out for you guys. Seven of Summer and Justice. Justice was a big theme today. So we have the kitties, the 7 kitties, and then the elephant here carrying the Justice scales. And the Maine Coon kitties says, it's time to stop procrastinating and make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. Okay, so don't focus on what you're lacking. Like if you're sexually frustrated, you're thinking, don't focus on the girl that you need to resolve that problem, because that's not the problem. I mean, you can leave yourself. Find out what the real issue is, what you're creatively not expressing. That's what you need to find, what you love to do. Don't put the responsibility of your happiness onto someone else. And the same, that's for the masculine more so. For the feminine, it's more so about needing to know the truth when you already know the truth, having faith in that. Right? And also negative self-talk and thinking for the feminine. And that applies to both also. So the elephant in Justice says, fair decisions will be made after all the evidence is reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. Okay? And I love this because this is like, you know, the one versus the group. So this is like the masculine dealing with his group in exile. Okay? And it could be the feminine exile from a group as well. But that's, you know, explaining what we just went through in the read. The other card that wanted to come out is the Six of Autumn, which is Kiwi. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. When I first went through my crown and meditating for you guys, my crown opening was like a bird birthing from my crown as opposed to a baby birthing from your vagina. This was a baby bird, like stretching itself, trying to get out of the crown. I don't know why it was a bird, but here we have the kiwi, which reminded me of this. And look at that, the kiwi's holding a coin. I love this. You know why? The kiwi has a silver coin, not the gold one. And one of the things that I have brought up before in my downloads had to do with the gold coin. So when I started calling the unity or Christ consciousness the gold coin, I got a process that was explained to me where each child is birthed with the gold coin and the color, right? So the feminine's the pink and the gold coin, the masculine's the gold coin and the green. But when the mother births a child, she gives her gold coin away to her child. And so she needs to learn her self-worth in order to grow her gold coin back to herself And until then, she's like the silver sword of the Queen of Swords in mourning, right, of her gold coin. So this is saying the bird is holding the silver coin. It's not gold. That they haven't quite found their self-worth, that Christ consciousness, that unity consciousness. And there's a feather flying above there too. It's like afraid to lose a part of yourself. The Kiwi says your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, or receive a grant or scholarship. In return for heaven's blessings, be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time or money to reputable charities. Okay? But make sure don't do it just for the sake of giving. You have to give to something that's true to your heart, which you really believe in. And again, that would confirm that the feather has to do with being afraid of giving away a part of yourself. Right? What am I going to do without that feather, that money, right? But that's the silver coin consciousness, not the gold coin consciousness. Okay? So that's perfect for that. So, and that's specific really to the feminine, because I wasn't getting the masculine without the gold coin. I was getting the feminine without the gold coin. Because the masculine never gives his gold coin away. The woman does because she births. But it isn't an issue when you don't grow up with a mother or a father, because, you know, the feminine comes into the world with a coin and the pink, so she doesn't know the green. The green is the grounding mechanism, right? The heart and the earth, the 3D-ness. The feminine's born with the pink, the knowingness, the compassion, the higher realms. So her father teaches her that green, that groundedness, and vice versa for the mother and son. But if you don't have that reversed relationship, that's where things get thrown off balance a bit for some. All right, so that was the animal deck. Let's see what we have now. Oh, I haven't. This isn't as exciting to look at, but I have a yoga deck too, which I just figured I would pick up to see what it says. Let's pull you a yoga card. So what yoga position, or whatever is going to come up here, is something that would benefit everyone watching today? All right, let's see what it is. What is the yoga card that needs to come up for everyone today? Interesting, because I came upon those yoga sites today. All right, here it is. So the underlying energy is the half moon. It just instructs you how to do this. So if you can always look them up. There's pictures on the back too, I think. Yeah. So this is the half moon. That's the underlying energy to do those stretches. And that's really good because we don't normally stretch this area out at all. And that really, I know that needs that because I get that all the time. It feels so good to stretch that out. The card that you got is the mountain. All right, so again, this is about stretching the arms up and then over to the side to really stretch out your ribs. Okay, so those are the two positions. It's all about the stretching out the arms. I'll show you that one again, all right? Which one was it? Okay, just going to show you those again. These are the two positions that came out. This was the underlying energy, and then this is the card that came out. So for people, some of you might not be able to do this position, but those are the two positions that came up for you to do, to really stretch out those ribs and those arms, those shoulders. And that's why my shoulder's finally getting a little bit better. I still don't have full range of it, but it is getting better. And let me tell you, it's no fun sleeping with a shoulder with nerve issues. It's been waking me up every night, you know, just because of the pain. And if you want specifics, here's the what's written on the back of the card if you want the instructions. But it's just, you know, it's basic instructions. Okay? Let's see what else I have here. All right, we have, this is the energy oracle cards. This is the back of the deck. All right, from the energy oracle deck, what does everyone need to know? Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. All right. Well, 3 cards came up. At the bottom of the deck is karma. What does it say? Oh, untying the knots. Untying the knots, number 28, which is the Two of Wands, the Twin Flames, the Two Flames, Karma. And that was the foundation here, the Judgment card. Untying the knots. So again, that can be the knot of marriage, which means untying contracts and things like that. That's the underlying energy. It's very interesting because I actually ate a cookie that looked like that yesterday. Like a waffle cookie. And I'm getting like R2-D2. I don't know why. It's just not shaped like R2-D2, but I am. It's like that weave, that never-ending weave. And I'm getting like hot plates and irons, like, you know, it's like a grid, but like an electrical circuit grid, like in your panels, or if you're doing scientific experiments, that's what I'm getting from it. All right, so the first card that came out for you is Fly Free. Perfect, air, because I was birthing a bird out of my crown before the read, before I came on, and that's 13 of the complete transformation and rebirth. Like the birdie flying out of the nest, you know, you might not succeed on the first try, but keep trying. And here's the reflection of the pyramid, the diamond. All right, the second card that came out, and this always reminds me of France too, you know, from the movie with the pyramid above ground, and then you find out in the movie that there's the feminine pyramid is below the ground. Here's the diamond again, purity and innocence, white, and again, white came up for the White Brotherhood, or the light, purity and innocence of 51 of the King of Swords. The purity and innocence of them, because they are very much in their integrity and truth, they're just very hurt, so they don't show their emotions, or don't use their emotions in their decision making. This is very much about the angel wings, being free, so you see the bird theme throughout all of this. And then the third card is the Kundalini, the untapped energy, that third energy, in learning how to handle your third energy, your frustrations, your drives, your desires. And that's the 35 of the Mary Magdalene, the Wounded Warrior. Okay. Fly free with purity and innocence, using your third energy, your untapped energy, to funnel that into your creativity, as well as your passion. Okay, is there one more I want to do? Yes. I'm sorry, that one was Archangel Metatron. This deck, is the energy deck. I just get them confused. For some reason, I always think this is Metatron's deck, but this is the energy deck. All right, so from the energy deck, what is the message here? What do we need to know? Last message. Yes, it's December. That one to come right out. It is December 26, 2019. The underlying energies from this deck is contracts, and we talked a lot about contracts, breaking them and what it means in this read today. And there again is the scales of justice and blind justice and the contract. And make sure you read them, because they're not there to try to dupe someone. They're there to make sure others know what makes you feel good, so that we're all on the same page when we go into something. Those are boundaries. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't use contracts that way. And that's the number 6, which is love, family, and community. You know, being fair with each other in the community, supporting each other. So the card that came out for you guys is 41, which is the Ace of Cups, right? The self-love, spiritual love, new love. The 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, which comes up a lot for me lately. Okay, and she's very much the angelic, but also the warrior at the same time, right? Being her masculine and her feminine. In being love, loving herself first, and then loving all as well. Of course, the 7th chakra. It's very pink and feminine. But don't underestimate her, because she is a warrior as well. And then this one to come out as well, which is the 28 of the Two of Wands, or the Twin Flames, and victory again. This came up the other day, right? The victory from the beginning of time, from the Garden of Eden and the Greco-Roman times. That we have victory now and coming full circle. So I love that, because here's the crowning moment, the 7th chakra, and I birthed a bird out of my crown before this video, and we have victory. The crowning moment. Okay, beautiful. And they both have their crowns too. Okay, guys, let me show you the cards. Okay, so we have the 5 of crystals and the underlying energy, recent past, the 9 of orbs. The foundation here is karma and the clarifiers. And then the central energy is that Ace of Wands, which was reversed. Starseeds is the challenge, which is like the Fool. The other underlying energies there. And the crowning card, Trinity, or the 3 of Pentacles. The place of co-creation or work. Okay, scrolling across, what's coming up for you is the World card, the Ascension card right there. And then the Masculine sees himself as that masked seeker of flames who is upright. Okay. And then around the Masculine, or how he's seen, is the Seeker of Crystals or Pentacles. That's also upright. It's like the Masculine and Feminine. They often come up as the 2 pages. And then the blocks that the Masculine needs to clear is the 2 of Orbs reversed. There's the communication of the Christ consciousness. The number on there is 33. And then we end up on the King of Wands shaman there, next to his indigo inner child. That's both him. Okay, and then we end up the Hierophants above him, and then the King of Pentacles reversed, the Hierophants reversed also, and then we end up on the Hermit, which is upright. And then we end up with the 3 of Wands being present on top. And there's the colors of that's the underlying energy, and then the numerology colors was the purple, the orange, the sacral, the crown, third eye crown, which we talked about both of those today, and then the Christ energy of the communication, the gold. Okay. Okay, so take care of yourselves. You're probably all feeling kind of crappy today from the holiday yesterday. But be kind to yourself. It's okay. Just be human. You're fine. All is well. Drink your water. Get your rest. It's 12:21. Drink your water. Get your rest. All that kind of stuff. Get your joy. Get your nature. Get out in the sunshine and rise and be loved, guys. Bye.